Welcome. Let us explore together a spiritual framework for mission, one that has been designed to meet the unique challenges of our modern age. These insights are drawn from the profound teachings of Pastor Samuel Braga, a guide to engaging in truly fruitful work for God.
We began with what is perhaps the central question of our time. In a world so full of prosperity and secular thought, where our lives are saturated with material concerns and just endless distractions, how can a message of eternal spiritual significance ever hope to be heard?
You see, the answer to that question does not lie in our own human effort or in some clever new strategy. The foundational principle, the very source of all true mission, is the truth that this work is accomplished not through our strength, but through a divine power.
In so many parts of the world, the spiritual ground has grown hard. And this isn't necessarily because of an active hostility towards the gospel. No, the challenge is a pervasive indifference, material abundance, a secular mindset. These things can fill a person's life so completely that there is simply no space left to even consider their spiritual needs.
And this reveals the crucial distinction. All the power we need for the mission, the wisdom to speak, the conviction to share, it all flows directly from the Holy Spirit. And the Spirit descends where there is genuine prayer and unity, transforming what might be a static institution into a dynamic, living movement of God.
So the question then becomes, how does this divine power operate through us? The teachings of Pastor Braga guide us toward a profound shift in our method, moving away from forceful persuasion and toward a gentle, spiritual discernment.
And this is the key. Our task is not to force a conversation or to break down doors that are closed. It is instead to develop a spiritual sensitivity, an ability to recognize where the Spirit of God is already at work, preparing a person's heart to be receptive to His truth.
The central metaphor for this practice is that of a peach. Think of a green, unripe peach. This represents a heart that is not yet ready. To force it, to squeeze it, is to cause damage. These precious individuals require our friendship, our consistent prayers, and our patience. But a ripe peach, that represents a heart made ready by the Spirit. It is open, receptive, and thirsty for truth, ready to be gently gathered.
But how do we discern the difference? We can do so through the gentle use of what one might call spiritual pearls. Now, these are not sermons. They are brief, natural statements of personal faith. By offering a small pearl, perhaps mentioning an answered prayer, we can then observe the reaction. A positive response, a flicker of genuine interest, signals a prepared, ripe heart. Discomfort, or a quick change of subject, suggests the heart is still green and not yet ready.
This is the very essence of this discerning approach. It is a ministry of profound patience and love. Our role is to tend the garden, to pray for people, to care for them, to build trust, and to wait with faith for the Holy Spirit to bring about the harvest in His own perfect time.
Now, this method of discernment, it isn't an isolated technique. It is part of a larger, sequential pathway that was modeled for us by Christ Himself, a path that always moves from the personal to the public.
There are two essential phases to this work, and the first is always the personal mission. This is the quiet, foundational work of building genuine relationships, of serving others selflessly, of earning their trust. Only after this ground has been lovingly prepared can the second phase, the public mission of broader outreach, become a truly fruitful harvest.
This summarizes the method of Christ so powerfully. Compassionate action is the non-negotiable prerequisite to sharing truth. We must first demonstrate the love of God through our service before we can ever hope to effectively speak of the God of love.
And when a heart is open, when the time is right, even the way we share our faith must follow a wise and logical order. Just as a master builder constructs a house, piece by piece. You see, we would never begin with the roof. We must begin with the foundation, the beautiful character of God, His plan of redemption, and the saving work of Christ. Upon this solid foundation, we then build the walls of a practical Christian life, prayer, obedience, spiritual growth. And only when these are secure do we place the roof of deeper, more advanced truths. We must always meet people exactly where they are.
Having understood the power, the method, and the pathway, we now arrive at the final and most crucial point. For this is not a theory to be admired from a distance, but a personal and immediate calling for every single believer.
We must reframe our entire understanding. Mission is not merely something the church does, it is what the church is. It is not an item on an agenda, but the very purpose and the living evidence of a life that has been truly transformed by the love of Christ. And so, this grand calling is distilled not into a complex strategy, but into a single, focused, and profound personal commitment.
Let this be our prayer, a simple, earnest plea to be used by God. It transforms the Great Commission from an overwhelming task into a personal, achievable, and beautiful mission of love. And this is a prayer that God is simply waiting to answer.